Hello, 7th grade Vikings. I wanted to show you what I'd like you to do today to make a book on ecological succession. And you're probably saying, Ms. Kelly, you've been making a lot of books recently, but this is a little different. This is much simpler than what I was asking you to do last time. We've been thinking about ecological succession for the last day or so, and you know that succession is just a series of events, first, second, third, and so on. And so when in ecological succession, we're thinking about what happens to a place where there is no biotic community, or the biotic community has been really almost destroyed by a natural event or human action. And so we're going to think about the sequence of events, first, next, and so on. So you are going to get two pieces of paper. If you ever want to make a book like this before, you don't need the paper that I'm giving you. But the one I'm giving you, it has the words ecological succession first, and then kind of this weird dotted line, and then finally. And a second piece of paper that says then, and then over here it says next. That's weird. That's kind of weird. Well, what you do is these dotted lines, you fold on them. And when you fold them on the dotted line, so I'm creasing it on the dotted line, I'm matching it up here so that the edges are level, and then zoop. When I fold it, now you can see it says then, next. Do it the same here. I want the ecological succession one on the outside. Crease it, match up the edges. And now I have a title that says first and finally. And if I take this piece of paper and I slide it in between the two, and I've got a book. First, then, next, finally. So what I'm going to ask you to do, you've watched at least 2 videos on ecological succession. You've read a little bit about ecological succession, and I want you to think, okay, what's first? And what happens next, and then finally what happens so that you have the full mature community again. You have the climax species returning. So I want you to use the vocabulary that you've heard in the videos. I want to make sure that you mention a pioneer species, and that you mention a climax species. And I would like you to draw what that would look like. First, what does it look like? Then, what starts to happen, what comes back first. Then, what happens as it continues to mature. And finally, what is the climax population? All right? Now, you're wondering, Ms. Kelly, do you want us to do a primary ecological succession or a secondary ecological succession? You can choose. Beyond using this format, the way you choose it and what you want to do, whether you want to pick a very specific location and what happens at that location, or if you want to do it more generalized, that's up to you. So I cannot wait to see what you have created. When you're done here in the classroom, I'll have my stapler in the front of my classroom, and you can just staple them at the top so that you don't lose the middle pages. And that's it. Can't wait to see what you create.